Welcome back. Tonight, late night message is for stay-at-home mamas who needs a break. I always tell God that I'm grateful for my babies and becoming a mother, but it's really a big change that we don't realize that we take as women, becoming mamas. Back to back to back, for me at least. Our bodies have not been our own for a while. We can't keep up with the changes and barely recognize ourselves. We want time, but we feel bad about it, or we cry when we finally get it. For me, it is fear of missing out on my kids at any moment of their lives, like real FOMO. And then our identity undergoes a significant transformation when we take on the role of motherhood. But remind yourself that you, too, are a child of God who is growing and learning through this one life we get with our children. Mama, because I know you stay home with your babies all day, even if you're out and about, do not forget to communicate openly with your husband about where you are in your current season. I found marriage and raising children at the same time extremely difficult and overwhelming when I kept everything to myself, not involving my husband to help despite his many efforts to help. For me, it was because I felt like he already had a job that requires his attention just for the safety of his life and others. And then you have to add on me and holding the family together and the things that I just will be so consumed of with control. And you know how we get as women when we feel like we need to control everything and we have to hold down the fort while our man's away and all these things going on. And it just gets overwhelming. And I just felt like I was a burden to him. Like I felt like I couldn't ask for help because I didn't want to add onto his plate that had already had a lot on it. Me alone is a lot. But I realized that your husband is not a therapist. My husband's not a therapist. They're not. And although they're not a therapist, we as wives can still explain to them that we're grateful for everything God has blessed us with. But we do have to be real with our husbands and let them know where we are at mentally. I mean, you don't have to just go and just throw up everything onto his lap at once. If you have a moment, okay, just when you can, just remind him that, okay, you're doing awesome and remind him of all the, positive things. If you have that throw up of rawness on your husband, letting out every emotion that you've kept in for so long. But like I said, you have to talk to your husband about how your life has undergone a significant change and that you need time to yourself too. This is not to say that his life didn't change, but it's a different experience for the both of you. Sometimes our husbands are aware, but they are not when they are focused on providing for and ensuring everyone is taken care of. He gets a break from the kids, even if he doesn't like to admit it and it seems like it's due to work because he has to work, but it's still a break. Like he's out the house while you're in the house 24/7, regulating everybody's emotions, trying to be the model example of a child of God, having self control and patience and trying to not be overstimulated, but you are overstimulating. You're trying to control your emotions. Like, it's a lot to be at home with a lot of children, or even just a few. And your husband may acknowledge it time to time, but they don't know the fullness of what you're going through, just as we don't know the fullness of what they're going through at work. I say this to say that even though he goes to work and he has to take on the workload and whatever he goes through, like with his bosses and stuff, he still gets a break away from the kids. He still gets a break to get out of the house, to communicate with other adults, to make work colleagues and friends and have encounters outside the house while you're just trying to like keep it sane. But mama, this is the time to be honest with your husband and yourself, acknowledging that you too need to schedule breaks that are required. These breaks benefit you and others when you show up as the best version of yourself that you can be. And honestly, it helps with you to be less stressed and have less attitude towards everybody if you just manage to schedule in alone time. I know that because your husband works, you may feel bad about requesting time off for yourself, especially given the opportunity that you stay at home. But honestly, sometimes we mamas need to leave the house by ourselves to be with God and our own thoughts. And sometimes we need to relearn how to be alone and do things without our kids. You may not want to leave home, which is also okay. You can ask your husband to take the kids out for the day or to visit family for a few hours, allowing you to enjoy a peaceful home and do whatever you want to do during that time. Now, during my time, I used to clean and care for the things that I needed to get done. And my husband could not stand the fact that I would just, on my breaks, still attend to the family and do chores and do anything that was on my to do list. I just found it convenient until recently when I realized and accepted that my house is not in the season of looking spotless 24/7. Like, I had to admit to myself that the toddlers will make me uncomfortable for a while. And I'm only saying that because I'm an excessive cleaner, and to the point where like people thought I had OCD, which I don't, but that's just how clean and organized I am and how I want my house. And it's funny because I thought about during that whole um all of that, just all of it in itself, I thought about my daddy um getting onto my mother about the same exact issue. Like my mother and I are the same like that, about being very clean. I mean, he was a clean man too. But my mother was that woman and still is that woman that says, you don't make a house for your children just to your house. So like for me, my house is made to fit my three toddlers. And so like my front is not a living room space or a den. It's literally like a little classroom. And then you have their room and everything's like adjusted for them. But it's because we don't get guests over. So we live far away from family. So I mean, we just made it comfortable for my husband and I and our children's needs. We don't watch TV, we don't do anything like that, so it didn't bother us. But my mother was the opposite growing up. She had our house look like a museum and nothing could be dirty. We could play outside all day and she'll lock the doors and say, stay outside until when the street lights come on, and then I'll unlock the doors so you can come in. If we wanted something, like she'll hand it through the door. But honestly, that's how it was. And my daddy used to say, no. I mean, we have kids. Let it look like the house, let it look like our house has kids living in it. It's their home too. Because it'd be like, Rico, what if it looks like this? And then what would people think? And like all these things, right? And and so it's funny because like my daddy really had the logic of, you have children, let it the house look like you have children. And so I had to literally take that on and really come to a place and say, oh my gosh, like I have toddlers. Like their home, this is their home. They should feel comfortable living in it. They should, I mean, my kids know like when they're done playing with something, put it away. But sometimes it's like, I can feel like, well, not now. I've gotten so much better. But at one point, I felt the cringe of like, oh my gosh, this is out. It's been out for too long. And they had just been done playing with it. But I'm like, oh, I need this to be put away. But I've learned to bite my tongue and let my children literally enjoy their playtime because it's their playtime. I know at the end of the day, when playtime's over, they're going to clean it up You know, it don't have to be done immediately unless it's like something that could be hazardous, like somebody trip or step on a Lego, like, ooh, we can't have that. But like, I had to really recognize that in myself and say, I need to stop being controlling and really let the kids live in the house that they live in, which is going to look the way it's going to look. And that doesn't give you or me an excuse to let go completely. Like, I can't do all that. But I've learned to just back up and be okay. I learned to accept the changes of my house along the way. And I know when people tell me, like, they come over and they're like, girl, like, what are you talking about? And like I said, for me, because of how I am just like I'm literally like clenching my hands, like how clean I am and how I like to be. Oh, for me, it's a big deal. And so I had to really learn how to like chill out and just really enjoy my break time and listen to my husband and just not like don't on my break, like don't clean up during my breaks, but actually really enjoy me and the things I like to do, like my hobbies, like I don't always have to do things for everybody on my breaks. That's my time. And my husband told me that for years, and I was just like, no, I'm okay. Cleaning makes me peaceful because it really does relax me. I'm like, I'm okay, I'm okay. But then when I saw other things like reading my books or making these videos, typing, sharing God's word with people, when I saw that that was kind of like back burner because I just needed to clean up, then I was like, yes, I need to chill out and enjoy my time because I already know I'm gonna clean up when I clean up. Like, I already know before I go to bed, everything's gonna be done. Before the kids go to bed, everything's gonna be done. And so, what changes and solutions we made during our time transitioning from job to job, because my husband kept getting like these jobs where he'll be away from training, like working for the prison, working for the state, like all these things were training. And it was a lot because he was gone most of the time. But when he was home, he made it, because he'll be going away for a while, he made a priority to really establish breaks. So, like, even on his off days, if he was off for 2 days, my husband and I would take turns on our breaks. So, the first day, I would let him sleep in, and I'll carry out the morning routines with the kids as usual. And on the second day, we would switch. He will let me sleep in, and then he'll take the kids to the park so then I can wake up to like a quiet home and have my time. I promise you, it's so weird. Like, when you have the kids 24/7, no matter how many times your husband does it for you, it is so weird to wake up to a peaceful home. Like, honestly, it's not as relaxing as you think. Like, I wake up like, oh my gosh, is everything okay? And then when I realize, like, oh, they went to the park, and after I called and asked, like, do you have the water? Do you have this? Do you have that? Then I'm okay. Like, it's relaxing after that period. I'm still learning, I'm still learning just as y'all are. But, um, but that's something we do. He will give me the second day, and I will make sure by the time he gets back that their lunch is done, and he will put them to nap time and let me have an extra few hours, those 3 hours for nap time. He'll let me go and do whatever I want to do. Most of the time, I like to just chill and do things on my computer or read a book or just really just lay with him because, he's always gone. But because I am straight over from this thrift shop, mm, yeah, because I'm straight away from that thrift shop, there are times where I just go to that thrift shop and I'll stay there for all 3 hours looking at things I don't need, but that's besides the point. Anyways, um, I just learn to accept that, accept his um, offers when he can give it to me and take those breaks. We have to make these routines happen. Sometimes it doesn't work out every time, and I'm not gonna lie, once you're used to something, you kind of get a little cranky, like, oh, like I can't have my break. Like, what do you mean? But um, a lot of times it does happen. And it may not be the breaks you thought you were going to have, but still, I enjoy my breaks. And honestly, I really wouldn't even know what to do because I'm still learning how to leave my house without my kids, who I always have literally on my legs or on my back. And so it is weird to go out and about and do things alone, but that's something that we mamas, we need. We can't be so consumed as being a mother. And I mean, maybe that's your season. I don't have family to help me, and I sure don't trust people with my kids. So I literally had to rely on my husband on his off days if he can't do, those things for me. But um, it's really something, mamas, we need to learn is to also trust our husbands enough to watch the kids and trust God that everything's going to be okay when we walk out those doors to do our me time, our alone time, or even if it's like us being home, we have to learn to not be so, I don't want to say attached, but we have to learn like boundaries, even with our children, for the sake of ourselves, for the sake of our mental health, for the sake of our spiritual health, and still, have that time to like regroup, to regain those thoughts that you haven't even heard yourself think because you've been hearing everybody else around you, like, and I'm speaking in a season of I have 3 toddlers, so I'm speaking from that season. I don't know what it's like for mamas who have older kids. I've heard that they're just as loud as toddlers, and I don't know, but sometimes I mishear my own thoughts. Like, I'll be so busy that I forget what I sound like. I forget how I sound being a normal parent, like my normal voice, because I have like the parent voice, but like I forget my own voice outside of the parent. So I don't know, it's weird, but we do have to try to create those boundaries and schedule me times, speak to our husbands about it, ask for help so that you can receive that time to do the things that you need to do. And I promise you, just as much as it's important to you as an individual, spiritually, mentally, physically, it's really important for you and your marriage as well. Like, your husband needs a break. Allow him to have his break because that car ride and work is a good break compared, to yours. But they need things to do too, like their hobbies. You don't want your husband to lose himself raising children and taking care of the family. Um, but also like y'all need those times to really grow and see who y'all are and grow through the changes that are happening to y'all individually for the sake of y'all's marriage too. Like, it's vital for our marriage and as parents together, parenting our children together, like it's vital that we are our best selves. That when we're our best selves, me and my husband, we can be a good team. Without us being a good team, how can we parent? How can we do things in the best ways of like role modeling? Like, we have to be our best selves, and that comes with our breaks for the both of us. But mama, really speaking up for yourself and taking that change. And I would add, this is you should try waking up at least an hour before your kids to have time with God so that you can fill your cup up and overflow the rest of what God's presence is doing to you in that time onto your kids when they wake up. Like, I love reading, and like that's my thing. I love to read, and waking up early like I used to. I mean, it's not like how I used to because I used to wake up at 5, and a sister can't do it no more. I mean, maybe I could if I really focus, but I know sleep is very important during my early years with my toddlers, and so I actually moved that to 6:30. And honestly, it's just as good. Like, I have my rest, I'm reading, I'm having time with God, it's quiet in the home, so I can actually hear my thoughts and not think about nothing else but me and God, and thank Him and just really be in that atmosphere before all the noise comes in. So, honestly, I mean, I suggest, just from my experience, if you've never done it, I suggest you do start waking up, maybe creating that routine for your alone time, waking up and really scheduling your time to yourself in the mornings. And I promise it's a game changer, guys. Like, it feels so good to just wake up to peace, to wake up to God and just peace and quiet, rather than waking up to everybody screaming and crying. And, you're just like, "Ugh, the day started, Like, you wake up and you get to like rejuvenate yourself and feel refreshed with the Lord's word and His Spirit. And honestly, and the kids notice it too. Like, the kids will notice you and how you are. Like, I feel like Cinderella when she opens up the doors and the birds are chirping and she's like, like just singing and everything. I feel like Cinderella or any princess at that in the mornings when I wake up like that. I go in there to my children's room and I'm like, oh my gosh, babies, wake up, wake up. Like, I am just a beautiful person. like I'm like, this is me. Because I am naturally a morning person. And my oldest son is too. And I'm like, this is me. Like, I love waking up like this. I love, like, just being energized and doing those things. Like, my oldest son, because he would hear me wake up so early, he'll even come in the room sometimes. And it's our time to have, like, me and him time too when he does, our alone time. And he's now 4, he just turned 4, but he will literally just sit there and let me read my Bible. He'll let me read the Bible to him, and we'll just literally like cuddle. He'll want me to go get his Bible, so I'll go get it and he'll read his along with me. But we're just calm and we're just so much better. And so, mamas, like I said, if you can manage to create that in your routine, that is a game changer. You have to take care of yourself, okay? I get it. I get it. It's difficult to schedule you in, it's difficult to prioritize yourself, but it is manageable too. It's a lot sometimes, but this season will pass. So enjoy your season, but try to enjoy your season being the best that you can be, from just taking breaks. Ask God for help in all areas you need throughout the day, even if it's every second. Don't overstimulate yourself to burnout. Take your time and pick and choose your battles. Yes, even the ones with the chores too, because like I said, I had to learn to just back off and enjoy being with my kids. Back off and just enjoy the moments. I don't have to wash every dish in the sink after they're done using it. Although it's easier for me, but still, I know you want to be the best for your kids, but you must also take care of yourself, Mama. Set up boundaries and know that you make the schedule and outline of the day. Your kids just follow your flow. So don't worry. Take your naps if you have to. Create a schedule and schedule your me time when the kids are napping or put down for bed, if it's just you, because like that's something I have to do. Like their nap times is whether I take a nap or do what I want. And then their bedtimes, I for sure that's me time. And that really helps. So, like I said, you get to decide, make it happen. Not every day is going to look the same because life happens. No matter how detailed your schedule is, like mine, like things still happen. But making a requirement for you to really schedule in days for yourself, even if it's 30-minute breaks, to make that scheduling your routine and make that like a priority, it's necessary. Remember, you got this because God got you. There is a lot going on, but God got you. These are God's children. So when you feel like you're not enough, or you're lacking something, or you just did things that you just thought you never do, and you're not the person you thought you would be raising your kids, and life is just so different, it's okay. You better believe God takes care of his own, and he takes care of you because you are his. He takes care of their needs just as he takes care of your needs, because you are his. You're his daughter. You're his child. He trusts you with his children. That's why he blessed you. So trust him as a father who would take care of all of y'all. I hope this blesses you in the ways that it has blessed me when I realized that a change needed to happen for the sake of my life as well as my children's. And just know that you're not alone in this. You're not alone. God is with you, and you have so many sisters out here, that so many mamas who have been in your shoes and are still walking in your shoes. And it's crazy because back then it was so different, and thankfully, like, time has changed. But for some others, it's still just hard for us to gain that voice for ourselves, to be okay with having that break. And I get that. I get it. Mom guilt is real. You feel guilty for needing me time, and sometimes you don't want it, but you do want it, and I get it. But like I said, Jesus, he went while he discipled others, like he still knew to withdraw and go to a place with God alone. He knew he needed it. And so I hope that you see for yourself that you need it too. You need that alone time, and you need that break. I love you, sister. God bless you. Shalom.